I'm assuming White Township is still standing
Oh, I think so.
After-
Last I heard,
after the big storm?
10 plow trucks are already back in the shop.
Saying, why did we get up so early?
Yeah. That's a good thing, though.
Yeah, sure. And it's good to know you're prepared and everything. So you had 10 plow trucks out, huh?
We did.
Ready to roll.
We had them all loaded up yesterday, ready to roll.
Mm-hmm. Well,
So,
you know,
but
I
people
guess
need to be careful.
I guess it could still happen. So
We'll see.
we can all be careful. Meanwhile, there are other things happening within the township, and one of those is the Planning Commission meeting tonight. Planning Commission has a number of different things on their agenda, starting with the Ben Franklin Elementary School project, correct?
That's correct. We probably will be reviewing the preliminary plan again. The school district and the architect have addressed almost all our issues that we had concerning the codes and the parking and the traffic impact study and stormwater and fire protection, among many of them.
Mm-hmm.
And they've addressed all those concerns, so we'll be discussing that preliminary plan, and we expect approval potentially tonight
Oh, okay. So
of the preliminary plan.
they'll approve possibly approve the preliminary plan tonight.
Correct.
Okay, very good. When those meetings occur and it's around a controversial subject like that, do you anticipate more people showing up?
Yeah, it's more than usual. It's kind of faded over the last couple months, but initially when we started the review 3 months ago, we had some significant attendance. We had to move the meetings to the one was at Rustic Lodge and one was at the fire hall. So we anticipated a larger crowd. We had about 80 at the one and I think 30 at the other.
Yeah, I think people understand that White Township's role in this and the Planning Commission's role in this is just to look at the plans themselves and determine if they're up to code. And
That's correct. They have to meet all our ordinances and regulations and our SAWDO, which is our subdivision and land development ordinance. So if they meet all that criteria, then we're pretty much required to approve the plans.
Another item on the agenda tonight for the Planning Commission is the new Community Guidance Center building. Now, where's that going to be?
That's at the corner of East Pike Road and Tulick Drive. I guess it's what people would consider the old Ed Bratton farm.
Yeah.
And it's a large building. I don't know if they're going to be bringing in their final plan tonight or not. They have provided a sketch plan. There's really no significant issues there. It's a 30,000 square foot building.
Wow.
Phase 1. There's a potential of a phase 2 also. So
Which
it's a
would
nice building.
That would be additional construction to be even larger than 30,000 square feet.
That's correct. Almost another 30,000 building up behind. So
My goodness.
very, very nice plan. We're looking forward to that, seeing that final plan come to fruition.
Yeah. So the Planning Commission has those two items on their agenda. Yet another one is the Oakland Avenue widening project. Now, this is around Walmart?
This would be widening Oakland Avenue all the way from Walmart entrance down to Rustic Lodge Road.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
PennDOT project, adding another lane two, depending on where in that area. And we're looking at the driveways and the streets of the township and how that affects ingress and egress into those developments and community and how that's impacted. So that's really not a planning commission item for tonight, but it's a project that's in the works. We've been having several meetings with PennDOT and the local landowners addressing some issues that we foresee could occur there.
Yeah. Now, mostly that's all business, isn't it? Are there residential properties there?
There's a couple off right there at the car wash, right past Ruby Tuesdays. There's some development up there to the right. And also there above S&T Bank, there's a development, the laser development there, across from PennDOT.
So that's an item for the supervisors.
That's just in the preliminary engineering review.
Okay.
So we've had special meetings with PennDOT, and I've called in some of the landowners and public officials to review the very preliminary plans.
That is a very heavily traveled section of roadway, isn't it?
It is, and it's a major concern. We had White Township was in full support of extending Rose Street from the Dunkin' Donut area up to West Philadelphia Street. But that project got canceled, and a lot of those funds have been diverted to this Oakland Avenue widening project now.
Yeah.
So it definitely is a needed project, and hopefully we can look in maybe 2 to 3 years at possible construction.
Yeah, how about that? That would be something else.
It would be nice.
It'd be nice to have the completed project without having to go through the construction phase of it, but it doesn't work that way.
No, I don't think so. Got to have the headaches too.
Stormwater management ordinance. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yes, we're reviewing that ordinance right now. It's in our comprehensive planning committee meetings. It's an upgrade, addressing issues, and we haven't looked at it, I think, since 2006. So I think the county's looking at their stormwater management ordinance also, and also I think the boroughs. So we're kind of meeting with them, making sure we're trying to coordinate, so there's no real gaps in the plan. So it's a progress plan that's being worked on.
Do ordinances such as that regularly get upgraded or updated, or is it something that you take a look at? You say there have been so many new state regulations and federal regulations put on that we really need to take a look at this ordinance now, and maybe it'll be good for another longer period of time.
It's more on an as-needed basis, although the stormwater management is more of a state mandate. They have provided a model ordinance that they are trying to push out to the municipalities to adopt. So we're reviewing that model ordinance and trying to make it meet our standard and update it according to that model.
As long as we're looking under the streets, let's talk about sewer planning, because I know there's some of that going on too.
That's correct. There's some potential development out the airport direction. So we're trying to get the sewer extended out that area. We've been working on the engineering. Currently, that project is being reviewed by other utilities. We have the profiles and the elevations for those sewer lines. So other utilities are looking for conflicts that might arise before we come up with our final plan. At that point, then we'll have a good budget, and we can start trying to find grant funding to support that project, either through Pinvest or low-interest loans or through the local banks.
I know supervisors last week sold off a couple of properties. What would those funds be used for?
They'll be used for a property we bought just adjacent to the municipal building for future expansion, possibly more stockpiles, a second egress to the building. So those funds are being used for that. And we also purchased the gas rights for the recreation complex as a potential energy savings out there for the arena, and an investment in terms of township funds.
Well, that's excellent that you're able to do that. Is there a shelf life on those gas rights?
No, they're a deed. They're perpetual.
There you go. That's good stuff. You told me you didn't have much to talk about today. You've got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, I guess I started putting the notes down. They got there.
Yeah. Now, of course, in White Township, the folks last year getting used to the new card system for their fees that they pay, and you want to make a note about those who have accounts due?
There is, for those that have accounts past due for sewer, stormwater, and recycling, they are due this Friday. To avoid any further penalties that you might incur. But we still get a lot of calls. People either misplaced them or think they didn't receive them. So we try to answer those calls and bring them up to speed.
Overall, comparing the old system with this new system, I would assume from your standpoint it's much easier to manage and to handle with the new system with the cards.
It does.
Are you hearing the same thing from customers?
They aren't really saying they like it one way or the other, but it is more efficient from our standpoint. It's cheaper from a postage and envelope standpoint cost. Yeah. So we like the new system. Obviously a new fee. Not everybody's happy about the new fee, but when you get these state mandates coming down and you got to cover your costs that you're incurring due to these new regulations, you have to find some way to fund those sources.
Absolutely. Couple of moments left with Milt Lady, just a couple of seconds actually. Milt, getting ready to fire up the mowers out at the recreation complex and get that thing in shape for baseball season, huh?
Back when it was in 70-degree weather, we had some baseball teams calling us, but I think that's been put on hold for a few days, maybe a couple of days.
There you go.
I want to make a shout out to the high school hockey team. They won in overtime last night, so they are in the finals for the Penguin Cup tomorrow night against Franklin Regional. So wish them luck.
Thanks, Milt.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Good stuff this morning from Milt Lady, huh? White Township. It is Indiana in the Morning, presented as always by First Commonwealth Bank. It's AM 1160 WCCS and 101.1 FM.